right? To really understand that all we actually want as humans is to be with other humans, right? We are social animals, and we learn from each other. We support each other. We are there for each other, right? When we start to see others, especially our competition, when we see them as not as adversaries and not as the enemy, but when we actually see them as our teacher, our elevator of our game, right? I think we understand in sport, we play our best when we're with other great performers. It actually helps us focus. We're actually more distracted when someone else is playing terrible, and like we have to then create the power and the energy in the room, right? And whatever. Like, no, we are way better off, right? We're Olympians in the room. Why do world records get broken? Because at the Olympics, people are supported and they push each other to do things together that no one could do alone. And the research is so clear about that. That we are inspired and motivated, right, by others. And we have these, again, business. This is the biggest thing I strongly encourage of the second strongest way of our confidence. So the strongest way is the embrace challenge, right? To what's called mastery experience, to do things for ourselves and to know we can navigate hard things and feel secure in ourselves, that we can sit in those moments. That's the mastery experience. That's the embrace challenge. The second strongest and third strongest come from the compete with. So the second strongest is seeing others like us do things. And it's not that we're watching them get an outcome, we're watching their process. Right. So, hey, Inga, I see how you're serving. Like, I'm watching you kind of use the ground and get up and elevate. And I'm watching how you do commit to your targets. And I'm seeing you really are using speed and spin to get the ball in the court. I'm a human just like you, right? I think having the science would say the closer the model is to us, as far as that we can relate to them, that matters, right? So this is where I love at the junior academies of, we're getting these people together who look and perform similarly, right? They're about the same age, same skill level. And that's a beautiful thing. They can learn so much with each other, right? So kind of being inspired and learning from others is the second strongest way of our confidence. The third strongest way is the support part, which I hope all of us on this call as coaches, I would hope that our students know, first and foremost, I am here to support you. You are safe here. You are loved here. You are appreciated here. Okay, now do cool stuff and I'm going to support you too. That's, I think, that's the third strongest way of our confidence. And then the fourth strongest goes back to the be ready, right? Hey, I know how to settle my body. I know how to use my breath. But again, I think if we have these first three of embracing challenge, knowing how to let go, appreciating how important social impact is on us for our motivation, our learning, our mental health, our support, that you don't need that self-regulatory breath as much. You don't need that routine as much. It's what the science says. There's no bro science here. There is no made up feel good stuff. This is all evidence-based research.
Matt, I think that the compete with is, it feels like today, like it almost comes across as counterintuitive in sport and in business. Like I think that, there's this, I think we're sort of getting so much noise from so many directions and like all the little bells and whistles that you need to perform well, that it just makes it feel like, you kind of have to win at the expense of someone else losing, right? And I think this happens in sport and business. One of the books I'm reading right now is The Rational Optimist by Matt Ridley, which really just is sort of a relook at world history. Like, even when we convince ourselves that we're sort of doing something on our own, it is so far from the truth. Like,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, it just seems like you're doing something like, oh, I'm out in the wilderness, I mean, it just debunks, all these like solo missions. Like, you sort of get into, the equipment that gets used, the coaching and all this. And
Yeah.
it's like, basically, the chapter I'm on now is about sort of the formations of cities and really trade, of trade and exchange. And it's like, it's really got me thinking in leadership and in sport.
Yeah.
What is the
So
trade-off that we're making, to essentially connect with another human? What is it that we're leveraging from someone else to perform a little bit better on our own, even in what appears to be a very solo activity?
so two things around that, Joe, and I love that framing. Right. So let in the chat briefly. Can everyone please what define what they think the word compete? What does that word mean? What does it mean to compete? This is in the app actually, right? We go to the Latin root, but I'm interested to hear, right? What do people because Joe, you're right. I think these words get bastardized and changed, and eh, I'm interested to hear what people so we can get to excel, elevate personal performance on your own terms, values, express yourself, beautiful, act in unison. Okay, very cool. The root of the word to strive together.
Mm.
How cool is that? Right? So competare is if you break down the word, right? Competare in Latin, apparently, right? It means to strive together. That's what competition is. Why is it all about the winning and the losing and where am I on the scoreboard and all that kind of stuff? That is not the case at all. So I think the ultimate sport example of this, we all know the Roger Bannister story, right? Of how once he broke the 4 minute mile, a bunch of others did. But has anyone seen the video of how Bannister broke the record himself? I love showing this video to my leaders. He goes out, okay? It's actually a race. It's somewhat of a staged race, but there's another university there, plus three of his other teammates. His teammates take off and take the wind, and he's riding behind, right? So the first guy takes off, booking it, and Bannister's just riding behind him, holding the wind, right? Just trying to hang on to this guy's toes or his heels. That guy burns out, falls to the side. The next guy jumps in and takes
Mm.
the wind and takes over and goes for another quarter mile. He fades. The final guy jumps out for the next quarter mile and again takes the wind, just inspires Bannister to keep going and keep going. Finally, he drops off, and now this is where Bannister's training and long legs and dynamic sport body just takes over. This is how the 4 minute mile was broken. It was not an individual endeavor. It was not just him. It was a very social experience that created this world record being broken. And again, to your point, Joe, I think we just think of the individuals, and this is just how, as the human mind, it's very easy to go binary, right? Again, good, bad, me, you, versus the space between, Joe, right? This is the idea of how we really kind of talk about this idea of trying to get rid of the yes, no, good, bad, and get more into experiences and having a deeper language and understanding and appreciation for experience um and just makes things so much more flowy and beautiful, and we're more present, and therefore our best skills come out.